Next one is going to be beef. So what I have here is, can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay, doesn't it look nasty?
Yes, it does.
That's a New York strip, thin cut from Jewel. That's from a conventional cow. This is grass-fed. Same thing, New York strip, but from a grass-fed cow. See, it's very lean. There's all this white stuff. It's called marbling. That's all fat. Fat should not be inside the muscle. This is pretty lean. The fat is on the outside, the subcutaneous, not inside the muscle. Okay. Now the reason why the one with all the fat in there, the one that looks nasty, what they do is in the CAFO cow, they're in a CAFO, and I forget what it stands for, but it's all the cows are packed in right next to each other, and they're fed corn and wheat and soybean, and they still have some grass and hay, but the majority of their meal, 55 pounds of corn and wheat is fed to a cow in a conventional farm. Whereas grass-fed, that's all they eat is grass their entire lives. So a cow is supposed to eat corn. I mean, a cow is supposed to eat grass, and that's what it digests. That's why they have 4 different stomachs, and they're able to digest all that and convert it into energy. Now, grass isn't very high in energy, so they have to eat a lot of it. So that's why the conventional farms feed it corn, because it's a very high energy food. And the reason why they do that is because it fattens them up within 6 months. They're able to go from like 60 pounds up to 400 pounds, not only because of what they're fed, but also the hormones that they're given and the antibiotics. The hormones are getting into our food. This is why girls are starting to get breasts when they're like 10 years old. They're getting their first periods when they're like 9, 10, 11 years old. They're maturing a lot quicker because of the hormones that they're eating from the cows. They're getting the hormones for growth. They're also given the antibiotics because the cows are extremely confined next to each other. They're, not to be gross, but they're defecating on each other also. So when you're in that little confined space and a cow gets cut or whatever, that poo gets inside the cut, it gets infected. And they have to have tons of antibiotics, or they have to kill the cow before it's mature. Those antibiotics are getting into the meat, and then we eat the antibiotics. This is why we're becoming anti-antibiotics. The antibiotics that we use are becoming useless now because we're always being fed antibiotics when you're eating commercial cow meat. It could be cow, it could be beef, lamb, pork, goat. I mean, any lamb, I already said lamb, but all these red meats that are on farms and they're fed corn and they're getting these hormones and antibiotics. These are the reasons why the antibiotics are becoming useless. COVID-19, the antibiotics that we had today should have been able to defend our bodies from the virus, but because we're so immune, our bodies are immune to those antibiotics, are not effective anymore. So that's another big reason why you shouldn't be eating the commercial fed beef. So the difference on the price, I think, I went to Whole Foods. I went to a really expensive one for the grass-fed beef. What was the price? The price was $16.99 a pound. The price for the conventional cow per pound was $10.27. So it's an extra $5, $6 for a pound, but you're getting a higher quality meat. Also, the grass-fed beef, as opposed to the farm beef, has a lot more, again, the nutrients, because also you can see in the meat, that's like a deadish red color, where this has got like a ruby color to it. It's more lively looking, as Martha would say. So the nutrients are very high in it as well. Nutrients like vitamin E and vitamin A are really high in this. Vitamin B12, which is really important for girls, important for all of us. It's a neurological vitamin. So what are those people, I keep forgetting the terms, bulimic. What's the difference? I think it's bulimic. The people that don't eat, they throw up. after they eat so they don't have any nutrients going through them. Those are the girls, it could be guys too, but it's mostly girls because they want to keep their weight level down. When you do that, they're not getting the B12, and there's been cases where they're not able to walk anymore because their nerves are shot. They're not working because of B12 being deficient in that. So this is why beef is really important, especially for girls to be eating, for the B12, the B6, and folate, especially after menopause. And I know I'm going through this really quick. I'm sorry, but I wanted to get at least some of this demonstration of why you should be spending the money on the quality rather than the quantity. So it's always better to get quality over quantity, I believe, when it comes to your health. Okay, the last